Good morning, SKN. I'm Jamie Morris.
And I'm Kortensia. We begin this morning with the weather forecast. Today it's partly sunny skies in general with a 20% chance or slight brief morning shower. High of 88 and a low of 72 degrees of Fahrenheit. So as usual, as we would recommend, always keep the umbrellas handy.
Yes. And yours is in the car, of course.
No, I don't have a car.
I think we need to do this weather earlier, just so that you'll be prepared. So guess what, everyone? It's our 50th episode.
Wow. On the first.
50th episode, 1st of March.
Yeah.
Seems like we've been doing this for quite a while. All right. So we take this opportunity to extend a heartfelt thank you to all of you who view us every day, starting your morning with us here on Good Morning SKN. We wouldn't be here without you, and we are here for you. So thank you again.
Thank you.
50th day. Could you believe it?
Indeed.
All right. So moving on to the latest in local news. Chamber representative addresses economic challenges, provides recovery suggestions. This from Win Media. Win Media spoke to Mr. Kevin Hope, executive director of the St. Kitts and Nevis Chamber of Industry and Commerce, who said, quote, "I think it is important to note that prior to the Russia-Ukraine war, the International Monetary Fund was predicting that St. Kitts and Nevis should return to its economic output levels as at 2019, around 2024 to 2025. So any protracted war or crisis in Europe can derail global economic recovery, and by extension, this can have implications in the duration of which we're likely to recover. So given we're in 2022, one anticipates if conditions were to continue apace, we should be back at the level we were. As it relates to goods, availability, and pricing, Hope said consumers should expect an increase in the cost of goods and services in the following weeks and months." Mr. Hope continued, quote, "We are still working through the post-COVID-19 pandemic in terms of the implications, and we've seen the implications it already has had on inflation and also on supply constraints. So we can anticipate that if both the post-COVID-19 impact and the implication of the Russia-Ukraine war, especially the effects it may have on higher prices, especially at the pump, because to date, I think the price of energy, the price of oil in particular, has gone past the $100 per barrel since 2014. So if this continues, we anticipate high inflation, and obviously that will translate to higher prices at the pump, in addition to the increase in the cost of imported goods for households and consumers." Wow. Do we need high prices?
We don't, and it's really high, especially at the pump, as you mentioned.
Yeah.
So thank God I don't have a car anymore.
Well, there's a silver lining for you.
As we continue along, at this from the Nevis Tourism Authority press release. It stated 2 weeks ago, Nevis featured heavily across the UK media following the announcement that former Spice Girl Melanie Brown, MBE, has been named the UK Tourism Ambassador to the island. The news garnered widespread attention across more than 40 of the UK's biggest news publications, including the Mail Online, the Evening Standard, Yahoo News, and Hello Magazine, reaching millions of readers. News of the former Spice Girls' appointment even featured on the UK most popular breakfast TV show, Good Morning Britain. Melanie's new role as ambassador was mentioned twice on the show alongside video imagery of the island, and the host referenced the pop icon's excitement to be given the title of ambassador to her father's home nation, with another host delighting over the beauty of the island. Melanie is one of the 4 ambassadors that the Nevis Tourism Authority announced last week, and the role of our new ambassador is to help promote our island as a holiday destination both in the UK, US, and across the world through the press and via their social media channels.
I'm waiting for you to say it.
Nevis next boy. Lots of things happening in Nevis.
Yes, absolutely.
Wow.
Absolutely. Excited to see Melanie again.
Yeah.
All right, so we're moving on to the third story. Positive feedback on Sugar Mass 50. Great projections next carnival season. This from Win Media. The long-anticipated prize-giving ceremony for the 2021 National Carnival Sugar Mass 50 was held on Saturday night, February 26, 2022, at the Marriott Ballroom. In the midst of the pandemic and the sudden outbreak of the 4th wave of COVID-19, the National Carnival Committee showed true resilience and innovation. While all other carnival celebrations in the region were canceled, the St. Kitts Nevis National Carnival was held. During her presentation, Chair of the National Carnival Committee, Ms. Shannon Hawley, shared an overview of the 2021 carnival season celebration. She said, quote, "Over the past 2 years, We have significantly grown our St. Kitts Nevis National Carnival brand as a business, despite the pandemic. In September 2021, we hosted the first set of streamed events for the 50th anniversary celebrations, the royal reveal of our National Carnival Queen pageant contestants. That was 6 months ago. Wow. It was followed by the reveal of the swimsuit contestants, end quote. Highlighted on the calendar of activities for Sugar Mass 50 were other new activities, such as the first ever National Carnival Song Competition, the National Carnival Queen Runway Challenge, and Bubble Juve. With the subtraction of some of the usual carnival activities in 2020, we saw the reintroduction of the National Carnival Queen and Swimwear pageants and Soca Monarch competition. Exciting news.
Exciting.
Yeah.
So maybe this year they'll have the full-on mass.
Well, we'll see. We'll see. We're gearing up for it. So,
Yeah.
really good news.
Yeah.
So, St. Kitts is Spice and Nevis is.
Nice.
There you go.
And
No.
we're celebrating 50 on the
I was
1st.
going to say, that's something else that's nice for us to celebrate
Yep.
as well. So, hey, guess what? We'll be back in a moment to celebrate even more.
Everyone is encouraged to adopt a healthy and positive approach to daily life. Here are a few friendly reminders.
When you go to the local market and food vendors, remember to maintain a social distance of 6 feet or 2 meters apart, and always wear your mask.
Always keep your hands clean. Wash your hands with soap and water or use an alcohol-based hand sanitizer.
When dining, choose restaurants with staggered seating. This will lower the risk of transmission.
If you have a fever, cough, or other respiratory symptoms, please wear a mask and seek medical care immediately. Rest at home and do not visit the food vendors, local markets, or restaurants.
You're watching Good Morning SKN. We now move on to the latest in regional news. This from a UWI press release. A UWI press release stated, the University of the West Indies, Mona campus, working in close collaboration with the University Hospital of the West Indies and the Ministry of Health and Wellness, has established a next-generation sequencing service in the Department of Microbiology in the Faculty of Medical Sciences. The NGS services was established following the generous donation of a MySec Next Generation sequencer from Jamaica's Ministry of Health and Wellness and funded by the Chase Fund as part of the country's national response to the COVID-19 pandemic. Next generation sequencing is essential to the national COVID-19 response, helping to identify known variants circulating, as well as new variants that arise amid the low vaccination rates. NGS also has wide applicability in biology and overall health, including answering fundamental questions in HIV or AIDS, in biodiversity, natural product research, vector management, pathogen surveillance, antibiotic resistance, and healthcare-associated infections. As a priority, the service is focused on determining circulating variants of the SARS-CoV-2 virus, which causes COVID-19. In its first run, appropriate samples were selected from the National Public Health Laboratory under the guidance of the National Surveillance Unit of the Ministry of Health and Wellness, and the first result revealed a preponderance of the Omicron variant in Jamaica. So, should I say they're sharing the sciences, and they're including the Caribbean, which is good?
Yeah, absolutely.
Because we
right.
have lots of smart people this way, right?
I'm sitting next to one right now.
Oh, that's so sweet.
So we're moving on to international news. U.S. to cut off Russia's central bank from U.S. dollar transactions. This from CNN. The U.S. took action on February 28th to prohibit U.S. dollar transactions with the Russian central bank and fully block the Russian Direct Investment Fund, senior administration officials said, taking aim at some of Russia's most powerful means of mitigating the effect of sanctions. The steps are meant to prevent Russia from accessing a rainy day fund that officials said Moscow had been expected to rely upon during the invasion of Ukraine. Instead of using the reserves to buffer a plummeting ruble, Russia will no longer be able to access the funds it keeps in US dollars. The sweeping new sanctions taken with Germany, France, the UK, Italy, and Canada, European Union, and others come as Russia's economy is already in freefall. A White House official said, quote, "No country is sanction-proof. Putin's war chest of $630 billion in reserves only matters if you can use it to defend his currency, specifically by selling those reserves in exchange for buying the ruble. After today's actions, that will no longer be possible, and Fortress Russia will be exposed as a myth," end quote. So there is action being taken on the international stage.
And the giants do crumble.
Yes, the bigger they are, it seems the harder they fall indeed.
Yeah.
There you have it for the latest for today, but we'll be back in a moment as we continue our 50th show.
Yeah,
See you in a flash.
Where are you going? I just mopped the floor and now the chair leaving marks all over the place. Come on, go in bed, see? Sometimes I just can't take you on.
Violence is expressed in many ways. Most, unfortunately, go unreported or unaddressed for many reasons. If you or someone disabled is being abused, contact the police at 465-2241, social services at 467-1314, or the St. Kitts Nevis Association of Disabled Persons at 465-2151, 663-9077, or 663-4116. This message was brought to you by the Department of Gender Affairs in collaboration with the Pan American Health Organization, PAHO.
Let's face it, most parents or guardians don't want to think about their teens having sex, let alone contemplate the possibility that they might get pregnant or get someone pregnant. Teenage pregnancy is a situation that involves female adolescents. A teenage female can be pregnant as early as age 12 or 13, although it is usually 14 and older. The fact that teenagers become pregnant is related to many factors. Here are some tips to decrease teen pregnancy. Teach teenagers comprehensive sex education. Target messages at teen boys, not just girls. Get the whole community involved. Encourage mentoring, parental involvement, and support. This message was brought to you by Project Viola through the Department of Gender Affairs with support from the Basic Needs Trust Fund and the Caribbean Development Bank.
no cash, no card, no problem. JAD. Embrace the freedom.
Welcome back to Good Morning SKN and our 50th episode. Thank you for sticking and staying with us. The National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, and the Nevis Disaster Management Department are currently finalizing plans to undergo a comprehensive disaster management audit of their operations. The CDM audit is spearheaded by the Caribbean Disaster Emergency Management Agency and will be conducted by a regional consultant, Ms. Denise Murray. Denise Murray is a Caribbean consultant with experiences that include designing, implementing, monitoring, and evaluating multi-component management products in the Caribbean, South and Central America. Today, Denise is here on Good Morning SKN to tell us more about the CDM audit at NEMA. Welcome, Ms. Murray. Good Morning SKN, and to our 50th episode.
Yes, well, it's such a pleasure for you welcoming me here.
Great to
Happy to have you, yeah.
Yes.
So can you tell us what exactly is comprehensive disaster management?
Sure. It is an area where all of us are involved, meaning the man or woman on the street, in the marketplace, in the office, in the media. We are looking to find out how we can partner with the Federation in having an audit tool, going through disaster preparedness, response. How are these areas in relation to when it comes to a disaster?
So what are the typical things that you would look for? Because I'm certain this is not your first audit of this kind. So what are the things that you would look for in performing that?
Sure, that's a very good question. We would be looking at how prepared is the Federation. But then again, I don't want to make it seem as if, we are looking for things. This is something where St. Kitts and Nevis can actually look at themselves in the mirror, right? And see how can we continue to improve in the myriad of challenges. Coming off of COVID-19, we need to get certain ducks in order because we don't want to be caught, unprepared.
Mm-hmm.
Just curious,
Yes.
if you can shed a little more light on that. What are some of those ducks? Typically, not that you have, taken anything that you've observed specifically here, but what would you be looking for generally?
Generally?
Yes.
Okay, well, we'll be, all of us, including SEDEMA and the country, we'll be looking at things like, the response time, the recovery time. Mm-hmm. We'll be looking to see how well your stakeholders interact with you. What is it that your stakeholders need from you as a disaster organization? When I say stakeholders, private sector, public sector, media, NGO, FBOs, every, area or facet of the society. But our public sector will play a key role. Yes.
Indeed. So what way does your role as a regional, one second.
Sure.
Does your role as a regional consultant help to reduce the risk of natural and technological hazards and affect climate change?
Yes, yes. So all those areas, as we noticed the other day in St. Vincent, as we noticed even floods in South America, it's right in our backyard, right? So these things, we don't want to react when things happen. We want to be proactive. So we will be taking the society or the organization through this audit tool to ensure that showing us our strengths, our weaknesses, and how is it that we can improve.
Okay.
Yes.
So I imagine it's not an assessment that one would consider a pass or failing grade, is it? It's just about improvement.
Yes, yes, sir. It's about improvement, and it's let's say it's an inventory. Right? It's an assessment inventory. It's feedback, right? To ensure that we get those ducks in order, but we are going in the right direction when it comes to disaster management.
So should something happen, we are not unprepared, but we're prepared so we can act or react as quickly as possible.
Right. Okay. But let me say, you know, I don't want to give the impression that we're not prepared. You know, you can be prepared this much, or you can, you know, continuously. It's a continuous preparation. Okay. And let me also say that you have to be prepared as an individual, your family, your community, and then your nation.
That's actually very interesting because in speaking to you, I initially got the impression that, okay, we're taking this, you know, general look at things from the top down, and we're dealing with these entities and these large organizations. To hear you say that we're dealing with the individuals, that's interesting to me, and I want to know exactly how perhaps your role, your work, could reach or trickle down to the individuals.
Good question. You know, when I started to study this project, it's really about life and death, you know. If we're prepared or not prepared, it's about life and death. So whatever we sit down collectively, when I say whatever, we have to come up with a product. And then that product, those results have to be filtered once we start to put things in place. Actually, NEMA knows that we're going to develop a country work program, right? So the entire country will rally around from this audit tool to create a work program. That work program will trickle down now to individuals, to families, to communities, right? And NEMA or NDMD will work more harmoniously to ensure that it touches the child. Like when you see our display in a minute at commercial break, you will see what I'm talking about. We're trying to say that we're all in this together. Yeah.
Thank you. So very engaging, isn't it?
Indeed.
All right, so we'll be back in a moment to continue this engaging discussion and informative, life-changing discussion for some of us.
Sure, thank you.
Stay tuned, everyone.
Hey, my friend, what going on?
Not a thing. I just here cooling under this tree, about to eat a mango or two.
Where you get mango from all now?
Boy, Auntie Rose bring me some mango this morning.
Oh, gosh. What you hit me for?
You give me something to put on?
Girl, you can't just come tempting me with these juicy round pally mangoes and expect me not to want some.
Just because something looks appealing and you want it, doesn't mean you are entitled to it and that you should touch or take it. Your mother ain't teach you manners. Ask for consent first before you touch up the mango them.
But why ask? And if it's dear, just take it. Why ask?
Simple. If it is mine and you ain't asked for it, it is called, wait for it, stealing.
That's true. My bad. Okay. May I please have some mangoes?
I don't know. After that spectacle, I ain't sure I want to give you any.
You see that? But I ask.
Just because you ask doesn't mean I have to give. It is still my mangoes.
So what you tell me ask for then?
Because consent is everything. Had you asked first, I would have been more inclined to give you one. And just because you ask doesn't mean I have to give you. You got it?
Okay, I got it. Now, may I please have some mangoes?
Only because you're my friend and I like you. But that still don't mean you're entitled to it.
Okay, I get it. I get it.
Good. Don't leave your mango skin on the ground, eh?
If you understand the importance of asking for someone's consent for a mango, then it shouldn't be too hard to understand consent when it comes to sex. The power of consent is everything. Ask first. If you or a friend has been sexually assaulted, please call 465-5000 for the Counseling Center.
This message was brought to you by No Judgment SKN and sponsored by the Basic Needs Trust Fund, the Department of Gender Affairs, and the Caribbean Development Bank.
Has anyone ever touched you here, here, or here? Well, these are actually bad touches, not good ones. And so, if anyone ever touches you in these areas or anywhere else that makes you uncomfortable, you must say no, then go and tell. Say it with me. Say no, then go and tell.
This message was brought to you by the Department of Gender Affairs in collaboration with Probation and Child Protection Services, the Ministry of Health, and the Pan American Health Organization.
Welcome back to Good Morning SKN. We are joined by Denise Murray, a Caribbean consultant that is currently working with both the National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, and the Nevis Disaster Management Department on a comprehensive disaster management audit. Before the break, Denise educated us all on all that is involved in the CDM audit. Now we are going to find out more about her role as a Caribbean consultant. So Denise, can you take the opportunity to explain to us?
Yes, certainly. Yes. So what you're looking at, everyone, is the CDM audit tool cycle. Right? It's a cycle whereby, and these are international best practices. Okay. So it's not as if the Federation is getting something below, right? It's getting something and you do this here. Matter of fact, this is the logo for NDMD in Nevis, right? So what you're looking at is the patterns, the recovery phase, the mitigation phase, the preparedness phase, the response phase, and of course, recovery. You don't think about all these phases when you're in a disaster. No.
You just think to survive. Yeah, you just want to survive.
But you're mitigating all the time. You're preparing. You have a response and you want to know you get back your stuff, right? You want recovery. So this is where these are the different areas all stakeholders will be looking at. Yeah.
And that's the CDM audit tool, but we are also looking at another poster here. What can you tell us about this?
Yes. This poster was designed internally by our NEMA and MDMD, right? And a very nice poster. And you see we are in it together. We came up with that internally. Yeah. It's not just the organization, guys. It is the entire Federation. We've got to see ourselves as being in it together. And I want to make a special plug right now. Volunteers. Community volunteers are needed now in the preparedness phase. Whereby you can volunteer to help out mitigation, response, and recovery.
Okay, thank you. That was a mouthful, but what I took away from that definitely is that we can't wait too late to think about what we would do in the event of an emergency.
No, sir.
And that's why we're glad that you're here.
Yes.
We understand that you have quite an extensive career experience working in South. You work in other countries. What can you tell us about those experiences?
Oh, very nice. I'm Guyanese. I gotta say that. I'm proud of that. But I'm also a Caribbean person. When we think CARICOM, we think one, right? So I've had experiences whereby I've helped my Caribbean brothers and sisters, whether it be education, public policy, exciting around the Caribbean, and always embraced. I'm very thankful to St. Kitts and Nevis because I've worked in TVET here. Yes, I've worked in TVET here. Qualifications, accreditation. Years ago, I've worked with Ministry of Education here in the Federation. So great to be back.
You're one of us.
Yeah.
No stranger to the island.
She's one of you, but she's also one of us.
See? We got this, sister. We got this. We understand that you have developed results-based management tools and methodology for government ministers and non-governmental organizations.
Yes.
Give us some insight into these results.
Wonderful, yes. In the Caribbean, we have to work for results. We just can't We have to ensure that we follow methodologies. You have a work plan. You have an action plan. You have a budget. And you're giving your people the necessary training that they would need to improve themselves so that our Caribbean, and we're proud of the Honorable Motley, right? We're very proud of what we're seeing, the trajectory, the leadership skills. You know, it's not just political. It's welcome to the real world, Caribbean. We have to step up to do more for our generations coming. Yeah.
We have to.
By the grace of God.
Can't do it by ourselves.
Of course. So there is a list of extensive worldwide organizations that you've actually worked with.
Yes, sir.
I'll name a few. So we have UNICEF, we have the IATB, and the European Commission.
Yes, sir.
As someone from the region, what has that been like?
What is that?
That experience been like for you?
Oh, sure. Very educational. It has helped to shape me as who I am. It has helped to give me diverse experiences. And you know, we're human, yes. We get down. People may give us, you know, a hard word and not a kind word. But when you think of the experiences, whether good or bad, you know, in your workplace, this is shaping you for something. You have to think like that. You have to think that this is for my good. So accept it, move on, use it. And look, I mean, I never dreamed, you know, when I was here before, wasn't on something like this. So I'm so happy that in now my second trip, I can be able to share this knowledge.
Lovely.
We're happy that you can too.
Indeed. So you mentioned before volunteers. Is there training for the volunteers once you volunteer?
I believe like this, just today, this morning, I was invited to speak to youth volunteers. So I would say there are capacity building initiatives, but that's a very good point. I'm going to suggest that right away because yes, volunteer, well, what's in it for me? You know, volunteers want to know that. Right? And I'm from the New York area. So, you know, you have a whole plan for volunteers. From the time they get there, they get a transportation, a fee. You know, they get their meals, they get training, they get even maybe a nice little bottle to take home. So, yes, these things help in terms of wooing volunteers. Yes.
Oh, we do want to thank you for stopping by. This has been so informative.
Yeah, this is great. This is great. Yeah.
So thank you so much and continue to do the work that you're doing.
Thank God. Yes. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Good morning, SKN in a moment. Stay tuned.
When growing your savings, where you save matters more than you think. Dare to compare and see for yourself why you should start saving and investing at First Federal Credit Union. You don't have to settle for cents. Let your money make sense. Reap a higher return by stashing your cash in a high-yield savings account or term deposit and earn up to 4% interest on your money. At First Federal, we say yes.
It's been 6 months now and Glenn hasn't been working. His attitude has completely changed and he's been leaving the house every day for hours and liming with his friends and coming home drunk and causing confusion.
Gloria, this is what you cooked today? This is not enough food for a big man like me.
But Glenn, it's been 6 months now. You haven't given me any money to shop for food.
Okay, so what you want me to do if my boss ain't called me out for work as yet?
Look for a different job now.
What you just said to me?
Get a next job.
What?
Help! Let me go!
Let go what? Yeah, let's see what really happen. Let go what? Watch him out with me now.
Every day mom and dad fight. When are they going to stop?
Domestic violence is not just physical, it's mental, emotional, economical, and psychological. If you, your friend or family member is being abused, you can contact one of the numbers listed below for help. Department of Gender Affairs 662-5492. Special Victims Unit 662-7077. Counseling Unit 465-5000. This message was brought to you by the Department of Gender Affairs in collaboration with the Ministry of Health and the Pan American Health Organization.
I'm here to say kids, Nevis, with the name for us I represent for the Ministry of Health. Yeah. Respect the COVID protocols. In a time like this, all for one for all. St. Kitts Nevis. Don't forget your mask. Wear it everywhere you go. Sanitize before and after everything you do. Cause you never know what's on the surface or the places you go. Maintain a safe social distance between me and you. Keep calm and stay focused. Don't be a fool, seek the facts first. And boost your immune system up. Don't wanna lose no more of us. Mask up, furlough, sanitize, observe the protocols all about. Be wise, mask up, furlough, sanitize. Me family fitting boat and you. Blessed love and greetings. This is Infamous, and I am here to encourage every Kittitian and Nivision to remember that we have our part to play in the fight against COVID-19. So sanitize, wear your face mask, practice social distancing, and go and get vaccinated. For me no know about you, but me love think it's bad. Easy no man.
No cash, no card, no problem. Jad, embrace the freedom.
To Good Morning SKN. Booker T. Washington said, quote, "Those who are happiest are those who do the most for others." End quote. Recently, the US-based Dr. Lornette Mills Charitable Foundation presented the Ministry of Education on Nevis with a check of $43,200. This donation sponsored 48 students from 9 schools in the school meals program. This donation is not the first of its kind, however. The Dr. Lornette Mills Charitable Foundation has been sponsoring the schools meals program, among other division initiatives, for almost 10 years. To find out more about this organization, we warmly welcome Mr. Carlisle Powell as a representative of the Dr. Lornette Mills Charitable Foundation to speak with us here on Good Morning SKN. Good morning, Mr. Powell. How are you doing today?
Hi, good morning. I am getting better and better.
I like that.
Well, it's good to see you. I love your optimism, and I love the charitable work that we will be talking about coming from the Dr. Lornette Mills Charitable Foundation. So we understand that it supports school meals program in Nevis once again. Why was this initiative important for your organization to launch in the first place, and why is it even more important to sustain?
Well, first of all, Dr. Lornette Mills married Rollins is a local person. She hails from Hanley's Road in Nevis, actually started a school life in Nevis, left at the age of 15, so she had a complete primary, and then left when she was at the Gingerland Secondary School to join her parents and siblings in the USA. And Lornet is convinced that you can't concentrate well if you're hungry. And she saw the need and started this program, not with the school lunch, but it actually started as a breakfast program for schools. And she started with just 6 schools and 22 students. The thing is, though, that there was not an entrenched meals program in Nevis at that time in all of the schools. And so some of the kids started coming under peer pressure for receiving breakfast at school. And you know that kids at that age can be mean. And so the foundation transitioned into a lunch program because there were more schools doing a school lunch. And so you couldn't pick out any 1 or 2 students and say, oh, that student didn't eat at home, so they have to eat at school and the school has to provide them. And so she didn't want that kind of thing to happen to the students. And so they transitioned from school breakfast into a school lunch program. And they actually started all the way back in 2013. So it has been ongoing for a long time.
And to my second question, why is it important for the foundation to sustain this program?
Because Dr. Mills and the foundation believe that every student should have an equal opportunity to learn. And that opportunity is lessened when you have to concentrate on the pangs of hunger, when you probably are not getting adequate meals. And so at least if the students get a proper lunch, then she knows that, listen, these children don't have to concentrate on being hungry. They can concentrate on the education which is being offered to them. And so it has gone on since 2013. This year is the biggest in terms of the financial outlay for the program. In that this year it went up to $43,200 for some 48 students. And it now covers 9 schools, 2 secondary schools, and 7 primary schools. The foundation does not sponsor in the private schools for obvious reasons. If the parents can pay tuition, then it is likely that they would be able to provide adequate meals for their children.
So you spoke to the amount being increased. Can you explain why? Is it because the number of kids have been increased as well?
Well, actually, no, because in the 2019-2020 year, there were the same number of students, 48 from the same 9 schools, but that figure was 28,800. I suppose it has to do with an increase in the cost of living and so on, and the cost of preparing the meals.
Mr. Powell, what are the other ways that the foundation has assisted the people in Nevis, if you can speak to that?
Well, the foundation participated in the COVID relief effort for St. Kitts and Nevis. And I should tell you from the outset that the foundation does not make a lot of noise about the things that they do, because it is not about getting attention. The foundation is about doing things to help people and trying to see if that could be a base for other petitions and divisions to join similar efforts, because all of the funds come from Dr. Lornet Mills herself. They do not solicit donations and have not accepted donations for any of the causes that she championed. So the COVID relief effort, she provided computers to the Gingerland Secondary School and to the Sports Museum here in Nevis. The other big cause is the spelling bee, which involves all of the schools in Nevis. And she 100% funds that effort as well. And then she's from Hanley's Road, of course. So the Empire Sports Club has benefited, and the fisher folks in Hanley's Road, they have benefited for the Fishing Foundation, along with other causes. And all of this, she worked always through the Nevis Association in South Florida, where a very good friend of hers is the president. Vida Baptiste is the president. And so she works through the Nevis Association of South Florida to make these funds available for all of these institutions that she sponsored here in Nevis.
Mr. Powell, we're so honored that you were talking with us about this foundation and the work that you have been doing, and we will continue this discussion in a moment, right after the break. Stay tuned, everyone.
Sure.
When growing your savings, where you save matters more than you think. Dare to compare and see for yourself why you should start saving and investing at First Federal Credit Union. You don't have to settle for cents. Let your money make sense. Reap a higher return by stashing your cash in a high-yield savings account or term deposit and earn up to 4% interest on your money. At First Federal, we say yes.
These teen boys nowadays get me so upset. I see these teen girls with their big bellies and you want to tell me y'all couldn't protect her and yourself? Come on. Now don't tell me no stupidness about you feel embarrassed about getting a pack of condoms or asking somebody for one. That ain't nothing to be ashamed about. You should be proud that you are making a wise decision, but you still have to abstain from having sex with someone under the age of consent. If your boys are pressuring you to have sex and you don't want to, then don't. You are in charge of your life, not them. I heard another one saying it's sweeter without a condom. But my granny always told me, no glove, no love. So let me tell you something. It's sweeter to have money in your pockets and not have to support a child at that young age. Before I say anything else, the best way to prevent teenage pregnancy is to abstain. In other words, no do it. Let me talk to the big men troubling underage girls.
Why you sleeping with your daughter? You not live clean. Your girl at 16 and your daughter at 13. So girl I look me, but me know you know that. Big man no deal with back pamba.
You understand where I'm coming from, right?
This message was brought to you by Project Viola through the Department of Gender Affairs with support from the Basic Needs Trust Fund and the Caribbean Development Bank.
You ever hear Earthquake call and say, "Hello, Miss Lee, yes, it's me, Earthquake, I coming Tuesday around 10? No, sir. Earthquake does arrive unannounced, and when it come, it shake all sense and sensibility out of we. Remain calm, stay inside, and do the DCH. Drop, cover, hold on. Once the shaking starts, you know it's earthquake. Make a quick move to a safe place. Don't run to the door, we are in the exit. Stairs might broke up or full of people. Elevator, avoid that, because you might get in and poof, power gone, and you're stuck in that box without ear. Take cover under a strong table or a bed, or crouch against an inside wall or in a corner, and cover your face and your head with your arms. Remember, DCH, drop, cover, hold on. Glass windows and doors, outside walls and doors in an earthquake, bad news. Take care yourself. Most injuries during earthquakes happen when something drop and hit people entering or exiting a building. Last thing, nobody run outside and ask, you feel it, you feel it? Remain calm, stay indoors until all the shaking stop, and do the DCH, drop, cover, hold on.
Welcome back to Good Morning SKN. We are joined by Mr. Carlisle Powell, who is representing the Dr. Lornette Mills Charitable Foundation, who recently donated a check of $43,200 to the Ministry of Education on Nevis. This donation sponsored 48 students under the school meals program. Before the break, we talked all about this. Now we are going to learn a bit more about the foundation. Mr. Powell, this organization was originally called the Dr. Lornette Mills Educational Fund. Why was the name changed?
Well, I suppose it's for legal reasons. There are different connotations to the words and so on. And you know, in the US system is all about tax.
Indeed, sir. Indeed, sir. It was relayed in the media that the most recent donation to the children was the result of the resources of Dr. Mills, and you did say that as well, that was the case. In speaking to the need to give back, can you address why Dr. Mills has decided to fund this particular initiative herself?
Well, first of all, I should tell you that the foundation received numerous requests.
Okay.
But not all of those requests are met with funds. As a matter of fact, the foundation is very careful as to what events, what activities they sponsor. They do not sponsor anything political at all. And I said that Dr. Lornette Mills is a very close cousin of mine. I spent a number of years in Parliament in Nevis, and that rule also extended to me, nothing political. And whatever the foundation does not like to sponsor individual events either, so that they sponsor events where many persons can benefit. So you see, like the school meals program, for example, that 48 different students from 9 different schools, instead of say, listen, we're going to sponsor this one individual to do whatever. And as I indicated, they're very particular about the events that they sponsor. And the foundation, all of the funds come from the resources of Dr. Lornette Mills. And in this one event alone, the total since the sponsorship began is approaching 200,000 EC dollars. So it is not an insignificant amount of money which has been spent. Why does she do it? Let's look at the mission statement. To provide assistance to Nevisians at home and in the diaspora, and to facilitate the pursuit of education and development of our school children, especially those in need. Additionally, support Nevisians with projects that help to uplift and improve our youths. The intent is to minimize or help eliminate any impediments to our children being able to fully participate in the learning experience. We also aim to address social and economic obstacles by providing assistance with school meals, sponsorship of the annual spelling bee competition at both the primary and secondary school level in Nevis, and other youth-centered or deemed eligible programs. And the foundation, they make the determination independently as to which events will be sponsored and which events will receive funds. And the fund manager, Mr. Rico Clark, has done an absolutely magnificent job over the years of handling the resources and managing the foundation.
So, Mr. Powell, can you tell us what advice would you give to others who are moved by this initiative and would like to donate to this initiative, and would you like to pay it forward?
Well, as indicated earlier, the foundation does not solicit nor accept contributions. But what you can do, the Nevis Association of South Florida, they are always on the lookout for funds. And so if persons want to contribute, I can provide the information for the Nevis Association of South Florida, because they are always looking for funds and always have very, very good programs to expend the fund on. Some of those resources, as I indicated to you, which came to help us in the COVID relief effort, those were channeled through the Nevis Association of South Florida, as are all of the other funds from the Dr. Lornette Mills Foundation.
Do you have that information, sir? If not, we can always get it. We can get it from you afterwards. Yes.
Oh, yes, I can provide that to you later.
Yes, yeah, certainly, sir. Well, we want to take this opportunity to thank you so much for engaging us today and letting us know about the work of the Dr. Lornette Mills Charitable Foundation. It's great work indeed. I appreciate the initiative. I'm sure many others do as well. And we want to say to you to keep up the good work. It doesn't go unnoticed. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you very much. I have the easy job. All I have to do is to represent the foundation in Nevis and to make sure that I am at the ceremonies to speak about what the foundation is doing and to just deliver the checks.
You do have an easy job indeed. And we would also say keep doing the great work that you and the foundation.
Thank you. Have a nice day.
You too, sir.
You too.
More Good Morning SKN in a moment. Stay tuned.
Self-health management refers to the measures people take to manage their own health. You and I should remember to wash hands often with soap and water, or use alcohol-based hand sanitizer. Avoid touching your eyes, mouth, and nose. Take your temperature morning and evening. Watch for symptoms. Persons with diabetes or hypertension are reminded to take your medication regularly as prescribed. If you have no symptoms, you may carry out your normal routine and boost your immune system. When you are outside, avoid public spaces and wear a mask at all times. If you develop symptoms, put on a mask and seek medical care. Do not take public transportation. Inform the doctor of your travel history, any contact with confirmed or suspected cases, your occupation, and whether anyone around you has similar symptoms. If you become ill, please rest at home. Wear a mask and isolate yourself from others in your household. If you share a bathroom, disinfect daily using 1 part bleach to 10 parts water. Everyone must work together to reduce the spread of the coronavirus.
No cash, no card, no problem. Jad, embrace the freedom.
Greetings, my lovely people. I'm Chantel, residing in Taiwan. 12 hours time difference. It's nighttime here, morning time in SK. I'm busy and on the go. However, I always manage to keep up to date with what's happening in SK. All thanks to Good Morning SKN. Good morning SKN. Ciao, bango!
Good morning, this is Carol from Lux Carnival, and I listen to Good Morning SKN.
Welcome back to Good Morning SKN, and once again, our 50th episode. For those of you who've been watching, thank you, and please continue to watch for more content. As you have seen in the international media, many individuals have been fleeing to the Ukrainian border in order to escape the war that has been waged since the Russian invasion into Ukraine. During today's segment of Talk of the town, we want to draw your attention to several components of how war can affect us right here in the Caribbean and in the Federation. Specifically, during the latest, yesterday we saw Mr. Kevin Hope, Executive Director of the St. Kitts and Nevis Chamber of Industry and Commerce, address some of the economic concerns. So,
yes, and there are indeed. He said as well, any protracted war or crisis in Europe can derail global economic recovery.
And we see the prices of food, every time we go to the supermarket, they're like skyrocketing.
Yeah.
Literally skyrocketing. There's a particular juice that I like, I won't call its name. It was 11 something, it's now up to 24 something. The same juice in the same bottle, in the same size.
I want to work where you work so I can buy that juice. But I do. Anyway, I'm kidding. But seriously, this is a serious issue, and we're talking about the way that we are affected. And obviously, prices would be one of those things. Prices not only at the supermarket, but prices at the pump, as we alluded to before, based on what Mr. Hope had to say.
Yeah.
So it's just one of those things that we might not feel the physical effects of it, but we'll definitely feel the economic effects. And those economic effects may be felt for a very long time.
But have you ever realized that, to me, the prices of gas only go up every time there is a war?
I've never been that analytical, no, but I'm glad that you are.
Yeah, it's like strategy, like, okay, the oil's over there, so this is our chance to...
Is it that, or is it supply-demand type thing? Because every time things, are scarce, it automatically drives up the price of the item, and I don't know if it's a matter of it seemingly...
Maybe they might have some form of correlation to it.
No, there would be. It's an economic... It's an economic theory, it's an economic, well, it implements economics, let's put it that way, but definitely. You could look at it, not that I'm an economist, but if resources are scarce and you want to preserve those resources as much as possible, then driving the price up might necessarily ensure that it's resources stay around for a while.
Because then we won't have, you mentioned before, the supply and demand will be different.
Precisely.
Because you don't have the money to buy it, you're not going to demand it.
Okay,
and they won't have to supply that much.
So that's theory. So I'm hoping that the things that you notice in the supermarket don't increase in price anymore, but who knows, because we also have the shortage already.
Yep, that's the next big issue.
Yeah, we already do.
To me, it's like you have to go to the supermarket and stock the trailer, so by the time it's on the shelf you can have it. Because if you even, to me, spend like 2 or 3 hours not going to the supermarket and you estimate, by the time I get there, empty shelves. So the scarcity is real. Yeah.
And it's one of those things. It's like, you've got to realize that we live on a globe. It's circular, and we are going to feel the effects of things that we seemingly have no relation to. And it's one of those things. It's prices, the barrel, Mr. Hope alluded to it as well, that the prices of a barrel have gone past the $100 mark. So if they're going to go up, then eventually it's going to trickle down to us. In terms of the people who are trying to leave the Ukraine, we also understand that there is some discrepancies to whether or not they're being treated fairly. Right.
How does one deal with that, though?
Well, I don't know. It's going to be chaotic on any level. Definitely going to be chaotic on any level, especially when you have a majority or masses trying to flee any one location at any point in time. And obviously our thoughts and prayers were with those people. We've had stories of people potentially, and you mentioned it earlier before we resumed the program, potentially being discriminated against. We're going to look more into that, but it's a very sad state of affairs. We know as well that there are some regional students there. I think we covered the fact that there were some Jamaican students who were studying in that region as well. We do have to look into what's going to be done to facilitate their extraction if they are still in fact there, and what's going to be done for other people who are not native to the Ukraine who also have to leave. So hopefully those of us who have relatives there from this region.
Ukraine. I'm here wondering who stands up for those that are being discriminated against during this time, that are trying to flee. Who will be the backbone to speak on their behalf? Another Ukrainian?
I think the world has been trying to speak. We covered it yesterday because you mentioned the marches that have been going on, the blue and the yellow that people have been wearing, etc. But also the sanctions that we talked about this morning in the news being affected, the fact that the ruble has been undervalued in an attempt to ensure that whatever sanctions are imposed, Russia doesn't have enough resources to continue to wage the war against the Ukrainian people. So it's a rough issue. It's a tough one. And while we in the region, while we in St. Kitts and Nevis particularly don't have to deal with the physical effects of war, we do have to think about the moral arguments going into it. We do have to think about the economic effects.
I was just going to touch on that because we're just getting excited, rejoicing that, oh, look, recovery, jobs are increasing, people are going back out to work now. No, if this happens, then the tourists are not going to fly. They're not going to come this way because they want to hold on to what they have because they don't know. So that's really going to affect us here in the island.
Look at the analysis. Wow, I love that. I love that. Yeah, seriously. But yeah, as a global traveler, you would be able to see that. And that's a really novel argument. Well, it's not novel, it's a sensible argument. Absolutely right. What I was thinking about is that even if we do recover here and we're in some sort of bubble where, you know, our jobs, we have the jobs. If you go to the supermarket, if you go to the gas pump and you have to spend more money anyway, it's not going to be as effective as if you don't. You know what I mean? So either way, we tend to be effective. And again, it might take a while for us to feel the effects of it. But ultimately, like I said before, we live on a globe. It's circular. So we're going to feel what happens in that parts of the world.
But us human beings, we're very adaptive. So even though if prices go up, we make do with the monies that we have that normally do not go up to match it. But we make do and...
Unless your currency is devalued.
Oh, man.
Precisely. So I can only think about what's going on right now with people trying to stock up the shelves in the Ukraine, those who actually have to stay there and everything else.
And the long lines at the ATM to get what monies they have out of it.
Yeah.
Like that, but that always happens.
But we saw similar situations, though. We saw it in Afghanistan, really, when we were looking at international news and what happened there. So I'm hoping that everybody rebounds well, and I'm hoping that it happens quickly, and that we don't have long-term effects of this. But who knows?
I'm hoping the wars just stop. Just stop. I just hope those involved open their eyes and see how it's really affecting others around them, and that it will eventually affect them, and just stop the war. It is.
Well, on that, you get the final word. That's it.
Stop it.
We'll be back in a moment with more Good Morning SKN. Stay tuned.
Good afternoon. And to what do I owe the pleasure of your visit today?
Good afternoon. After finding a lump, I visited the health center to see a nurse, and she found a lump as well. Doc, do you think this is the big C? I shouldn't have cancer. I don't drink. I don't smoke. Nobody in my family has ever had cancer.
Slow down, not so fast. Not every lump of the breast is cancerous. The breast goes through a number of changes. It can be a piece of fatty tissue or some other non-cancerous lump of the breast. Either way, I'll have to examine you first to make sure.
Okay. I did not know I was supposed to examine my breast myself.
Yes, the self-breast examination is very revealing. It is the first step in diagnosis. It is important to self-examine your breasts once monthly after you've had your period. That way, you would know how your normal, healthy breasts feel and be able to detect any changes early. If any abnormality is detected, there are more defining tests such as the ultrasound and/or mammogram.
Mammogram? No, I've heard that mammogram thing hurts badly.
I'm sure that most of what you've heard about the mammograms are exaggerated encounters. Here's the referral. Take it to the facility. Before the exam begins, you will have to fill out a short pre-test questionnaire. Let the doctor know if there's a possibility of pregnancy. Leave jewelry at home and wear loose, comfortable clothing. Don't wear deodorant, talcum powder, or lotion under your arms or on your breasts, as these may appear on the mammogram and interfere with correct diagnosis. During the exam, each breast is compressed horizontally between two plates for imaging, and then diagonally for further imaging as needed. So how was the experience?
It's not what I expected. My teenage sister found a lump in her breast. Should she get a mammogram too?
All lumps of the breast and changes should be investigated. A mammogram is recommended once a year for every woman aged 40 and over, even younger if there's a family history.
Oh, gee. Women have to endure a lot.
Men have to check their breasts too. Yes, some men do get breast cancer too. So remember, get checked today. Early detection saves lives.
I going out tonight. I got a hot date. He older than me, but I don't care. I like what he telling me. He say I look sweet and thing. What? You want me go home with him? Nice. Boy, I wonder if I'm ready for this. I notice he ain't got a condom, but I gonna go ahead, see? He might think me ain't like him or trust him. Plus, this my first time. Nothing gonna happen to me. Lord, how could I let this happen? I ain't ready for no child. Who can support me and my child? My man gone jail and mommy and daddy said they ain't gonna help. I all on my own. How could I be so careless? I wish I could go back to that now. But my education on hold. How could I let this happen?
Don't let this happen to you. Contact the Department of Gender Affairs to find out about confidential offices and personnel available to answer questions about your sexuality or pre- or postnatal concerns.
This message was brought to you by Project Viola through the Department of Gender Affairs with support from the Basic Needs Trust Fund and the Caribbean Development Bank.
I wear a mask because I want to protect my child, but also I want to protect his classmates and his teachers.
I wear a mask because I care about the frontline workers who will have to work even harder if those around me get sick.
I wear a mask to protect my family. I wear a mask to protect you. I wear a mask because it is the right thing to do.
I wear a mask because I don't want to put any vulnerable individuals at risk, like my elderly loved ones.
I wear a mask because
we are all in this together.
Greetings, my lovely people. I'm Chantel, residing in Taiwan. 12 hours time difference. It's nighttime here, morning time in SK. I'm busy and on the go. However, I always manage to keep up to date with what's happening in SK. All thanks to Good Morning SKN. Good morning SKN. Ciao, bango!
No cash, no card, no problem. Dad, embrace the freedom.
When growing your savings, where you save matters more than you think. Dare to compare and see for yourself why you should start saving and investing at First Federal Credit Union. You don't have to settle for cents. Let your money make sense. Reap a higher return by stashing your cash in a high-yield savings account or term deposit and earn up to 4% interest on your money. At First Federal, we say yes.
Welcome back to Good Morning SKN. And if you haven't figured it out already, Kortensia's gone and done it, everyone. He's finally taken me to the doghouse.
Yes.
So yesterday we spoke with Julia Carter, the owner of Feed and Farms, which offers a range of products that provides its clients and their farming their farming and feeding needs for domestic animals here in St. Kitts and Nevis. In that same vein, today we have a surprise for you, although I kind of set it up already, didn't I?
Yeah, you
yes,
did.
We are joined by the members of Talks and Barks, Kadeen Tyson and Deidria Cinnamon Dalsall. As well, we also have 3 lovely dogs. I won't even attempt to introduce them. We'll do that in a little bit. But we have 3 lovely dogs here. And what we know about Talks and Barks is that it offers high quality pet care services, such as pet sitting, grooming, and so much more. So join us in welcoming our next guests. And I only have 2 here, Kadeen and Deidria, but there are 5. So why don't I let you introduce us? Why don't I let you introduce us to the dogs that you have here? Lovely names, by the way, and tell us about what breed they are.
Okay, so this is Sam. Sam is a Spaniel, a Welsh Spaniel, and then we have Cookie here. Cookie is a Cookie is a Jack Russell, and then we have a mixed breed here. This one is Blondie. Blondie was actually rescued from back, so she's like a mixed breed, so we don't know what exactly it is. Some island mixed cuteness.
I love it.
So Kadeen, can you tell us why the name Talks and Barks?
Okay, so Talks and Barks, as you see, they speak, we listen. It's like a communication thing, like an energy thing. We get the energy from these dogs and we try to communicate. That's why we say Talks and Barks, because they speak and we listen.
That is so sweet.
So what motivated you to do what you did through Talks and Barks?
First and foremost, the love of these dogs, the love of these animals, and then I just wanted something different that was very much needed in St. Kitts and Nevis. And so, teaching people outside and all of that. So that was my inspiration for Talks and Barks and working with dogs in particular.
So a little birdie told me that you're a vet technician. Is that a next?
Is that a little birdie or a cinnamon?
Would that be one of the reasons why you?
Yes, absolutely. Because I work at Ross full time for 8 years now. 8 years now, and then that's the medical aspect. And then you go to love and understand these dogs. And while I'm there, I started a dog training program. And it gave me more insight as to the behavior and stuff like that.
The dog.
These dogs. Love these dogs.
So tell us about the services that you offer. I'm loving them too, by the way. I think that's Sam hitting my leg right here.
Sam.
Cookie's just a star.
Oh, you heard me, didn't you, Sam?
What? Yeah.
All right, so tell us about the services.
So we provide dog grooming services. These dogs were all groomed on Sunday, by the way. Dog grooming services, pet sitting. We started a dog training program, a puppy training class yesterday, which was went very well. We do dog boarding and pet sitting. Is it pet sitting?
Pet sitting, house sitting.
House sitting.
Dog walking, like you name it, we do it.
If you want your dog to be exercised, Just bring them to talk some barks. Yeah, well, they will get abs and stuff.
Oh, okay.
So this one.
What's the most popular service? What's the most popular service?
Big dog roaming for sure. Definitely.
Okay.
Like on Saturday we roam like 15 dogs.
Yeah, it's been some crazy weekends.
It's been crazy weekends. Yeah.
And that's just one day.
Yeah, just one day. It's getting, yeah.
But I know for sure from conversing with my bestie over here that she enjoys dealing with the dogs.
I love it.
Even enjoys dealing with the aggressive ones.
Yeah.
So can you tell us how do you deal with those?
I love to deal with the aggressive ones because when you get that trust from that aggressive dog, then it's there forever. You can do anything. You can do anything. But you would have to move slow, and it takes a lot of time and energy, but it's like the most rewarding thing ever.
So what happened when it bites? Do you suddenly dislike it?
No. No. Because again, they pick up energy. They understand that they pick up energy. If you come in, if you're working with a dog and you come in with a bad energy, then that dog will pick up that energy and feed on that energy and act on that energy. So we try to have good energy. And if I don't have good energy, then I don't be around dogs.
Oh, okay.
You understand? Because we are humans, right?
Well, except for the dogs.
We have good energy because you see the dogs are sticking and staying and being nice. Hi, Cookie.
Boy.
So what are some of the common breeds that you've seen?
Mostly Shih Tzu. We do Huskies. Got a lot of Huskies now.
Oh, Odin. She's obsessed with Odin.
Oh, you should see the pure white husky.
Oh, yeah.
He's gorgeous.
We should have bought him today.
You should have.
Because it was actually groomed yesterday.
I want a dog, but I can't have a dog. I don't have enough yard space. Hi,
You know
Sam.
what? I said the same thing, but my reason is different. I want a dog, but I take care of all of these dogs.
So you don't want a dog again?
Yeah.
Okay.
These are my dogs.
Oh,
Every dog that comes to Talks and Barks is my dog.
Oh,
fair enough. But you can get a dog. Don't let it fool you, because then you can use Talks and Barks to walk it.
And board it and train.
All right. I'll work on getting a dog.
The easiest thing, and if you need any information as to the upbringing of your dog, then you just don't be afraid to ask us, because that's what we're here for, to tell people and bring awareness basically to the community. Because we have a different culture and we have a different mindset towards dogs and the upbringing of dogs. And so we're here to teach, bring awareness and stuff like that.
Concerning the dogs.
Yeah, concerning the well-being of a dog.
So Blondie belongs to Talks and Barks?
Yes, all of these dogs.
belongs.
All of these dogs.
I thought they have owners and you just have
owners. They have.
You and Cinnamon.
Yeah, right.
Okay, Sam.
Oh, look at that.
Sam likes
to play. Look. Oh, that's so sweet.
And if you're having a bad day, come to Talks and Barks. They just introduce you to somebody like Sam, and Sam gonna make you smile.
Look at Sam.
All right, we'll be back in a moment, everyone. Stay tuned.
We on break?
Has anyone ever touched you here, or here? Well, these are actually bad touches, not good ones. And so, if anyone ever touches you in these areas or anywhere else that makes you uncomfortable, you must say no, then go and tell. Say it with me. Say no, then go and tell.
This message was brought to you by the Department of Gender Affairs in collaboration with Probation and Child Protection Services, the Ministry of Health, and the Pan American Health Organization.
Where are you going? I just mopped the floor and now the chair leaving marks all over the place. Come on, go in bed, see? Sometimes I just can't take you on.
Violence is expressed in many ways. Most, unfortunately, go unreported or unaddressed for many reasons. If you or someone disabled is being abused, contact the police at 465-2241, social services at 467-1314, or the St. Kitts Nevis Association of Disabled Persons at 465-2151, 663-9077, or 663-4116. This message was brought to you by the Department of Gender Affairs in collaboration with the Pan American Health Organization, PAHO.
Welcome back to Good Morning SKN. We are joined by members of Talks and Barks, owner Kadeen Tyson and his assistant Deja Dalsall. Accompanying them are three lovely dogs, Sam, Blondie, and Cookie. Kadeen and Deja are now going to demonstrate an easy at-home dog grooming techniques for beginners.
Okay, so I'm gonna use Blondie here. Blondie, come.
Hey, Blondie.
Say hello, Blondie. So what we do stress on for the dog at home is to. Sam, this is not your time. we stress that owners brush their dogs regularly because dogs come in with a lot of knots and it takes time and energy and it's actually painful to take them out.
Aww,
yeah. So like we stress. You just take a brush, a stick of brush, and you just brush.
So every day.
Every day. Brush out.
How many times a day though?
Once a day.
Once a day.
You could do it like if you don't have the time to do it every day, you could always do it like whenever you feel like, but just try to get the nuts out before we get before you bring them with nuts, because we try and then persons come in with a lot of nuts and they ask not to cut them down. It's very painful for these dogs if they have nuts and we have to take them out because the techniques and stuff that we use. But it's just simple, just brush, simple. And these dogs actually love it.
You can see that.
They prefer to get a little brush in the day. It doesn't take 5 minutes. It doesn't take 2 minutes. It doesn't take 2 minutes, depending on the size of the dog, of course. And yeah.
So Deja, when the customers request that you do not cut the nuts off of the dog, what do you recommend?
Well, sometimes we try our best to take out the nuts, but if it's a situation where it's really, really bad, like locks are actually forming, we will have to advise them that it has to be done. Because sometimes the dog gets aggressive when you try to take out those nuts as well.
Wow.
And then the next thing is that, it's going to grow back, and it's going to grow back even better.
Oh, once the nuts are removed. Okay.
I wish that you guys were an adoption agency. Because I know which one would be going home with me.
This one?
Oh, yeah.
Blondie, you're the star.
Blondie, she's a rescue. She's been recently rescued like a couple months ago. So she's doing very well at home. She doesn't hear poop in the house. Yeah, she's actually very good. Like, she's good with grooming. She's good with handling. She's good with people and everything. And that's very important. Socialization. I guess she didn't have socialization, but I don't know. She's good.
So Kadeen, I see that Talks and Barks has been around for 6 years. Do you have any plans for the future?
Yes, we want to expand, of course, to reach out to as many persons in St. Kitts and in Nevis.
Okay. I see you do pop-up shops over there.
Yeah, we do pop-up shops over there. We want to make sure that the word is out, not only to get people money, but to spread awareness of the well-being of these dogs. So that's Talks and Barks' aim.
I was saying that a lot of people don't know the importance of taking care of the dogs, especially we notice that a lot of people on the island have these nice fluffy dogs, as they call it, and sometimes they come with these lot of hairs and knots, and then when you cut, you see everything that's underneath there, including the hidden ticks and fleas and
Okay.
So fluffy is nice, but they need the grooming and attention.
So what other advice other than grooming would you give to persons like that?
I would say first and foremost, you have to have the right mindset when you're owning a dog.
As
right?
mentioned
Not because a dog looks cute. Not because a dog looks cute. That's it. Dogs are a huge responsibility.
Huge investment.
Huge investment and responsibility. And we're here for, if you have any questions, just come to Talks and Barks or give us a call.
Let us know where we can do that. That's the one thing that we haven't talked about.
Let us know where we can do that and how we can book a session.
So booking appointments, you can book online, on Facebook at Talks and Barks, and Instagram at Talks and Barks, or you can call us at 763-4283. That's my number, and then her number you can...
762-3537.
Okay. And I also see you are on Access, so we can also go there and book an appointment.
Yes, we are on Access as well.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Okay. Oh, look! She's ready to go home with Jamie. I've been missing the dog.
Don't forget Talks and Barks with the dog boarding, so when you're ready to travel, just come to us.
Hi, Cookie.
Oh, okay, Cookie.
It's the star of the show.
I'm sorry.
I think it's PG-13, right?
Sorry, Blondie.
It's a dominating thing. This is the first step, just to get out excited.
Well, I can take that off my bucket list. I sure can.
That experience. One thing we need to stress is that not because the dog is not fluffy, doesn't mean that it don't need grooming. At some point in their life, the nails grow out.
Okay.
And we need to, it's like we've seen dogs that come with nails that are like embedded in the thing.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
It's not a good sight, and it's definitely, I don't think it's a good feel for these dogs. So nail trim, and then we do anal gland expression, we do teeth cleaning, we do ear cleaning, sanitary clips, a bath, shampoo and condition bath. That's why these dogs feel so nice and soft. And then we do the hair clipping with blow dry and
doggy massage.
Doggy massage.
Oh, yes. It's a and they get a nice cologne at the end. So, yeah.
But the most important thing is the love. The most important thing is the love.
And I can feel that from you with the dogs. So I can definitely see why you are in your profession. So keep up the good work.
Thank you.
And keep Blondie happy. Well, Blondie, I can take you off of my list. Jamie, you can take Blondie home. I'll take Cookie. Cookie's just there being the star.
Nobody wants some?
Cookie is like, you know, I do
Cookie
my
just
own
wants
thing.
a ball.
I do my own thing. She don't want to come by you and try to get some attention from you at some point in her life. But if there's a ball,
she wants a ball.
There's a ball. She gets crazy and no one can touch the ball. See?
Wow. So Cookie, maybe me and you can play some tennis sometime.
You're going to do that during the break? Thank you guys for coming. I'll have more fun with Blondie. And
Blondie's more like energetic. And then Sam wants to do things and go hiking and jump over the cliff and stuff like that.
Oh, nice.
I'll take Blondie.
Blondie's today.
All right, we're back in a moment, everyone. Stay tuned. All right.
going out tonight. I got a hot date. He older than me, but I don't care. I like what he telling me. He say I look sweet and ting. What? You want me go home with him? Nice. Boy, I wonder if I'm ready for this. I notice he ain't got a condom, but I gonna go ahead, see? He might think me ain't like him or trust him. Plus, this my first time. Nothing gonna happen to me. Lord, how could I let this happen? I ain't ready for no child. Who gonna support me and my child? My man gone jail and mommy and daddy said they ain't gonna help. I all on my own. How could I be so careless? I wish I could go back to that now. But my education on hold. How could I let this happen? Don't let this happen to you. Contact the Department of Gender Affairs to find out about confidential offices and personnel available to answer questions about your sexuality or pre- or postnatal concerns.
This message was brought to you by Project Viola through the Department of Gender Affairs with support from the Basic Needs Trust Fund and the Caribbean Development Bank.
I'm here to say kids, Nevis, with the name for us I represent for the Ministry of Health. Yeah. Respect the COVID protocols. In a time like this, all for one for all. St. Kitts Nevis. Don't forget your mask. Wear it everywhere you go. Sanitize before and after everything you do. Cause you never know what's on the surface of the places you go. Maintain a safe social distance between me and you. Keep calm and stay focused. Don't be a fool, seek the facts first. And boost your immune system up. Don't wanna lose no more of us. Mask up, furlough, sanitize. Observe the protocols all about. Be wise. Mask up, furlough, sanitize. Me family fitting boat. And you. Blessed love and greetings. This is Infamous, and I am here to encourage every Kittitian and Nivision to remember that we have our part to play in the fight against COVID-19. So sanitize, wear your face mask, practice social distancing, and go and get vaccinated. For me no know about you, but me love think it's bad. Easy no man.
Bless up, Dejo here, and I'm doing my part in the fight against COVID-19 by following all safety protocols and most importantly, rolling up my sleeve for the vaccine. So I'm encouraging you to do the same because that's our best shot of protecting ourselves, our family, and our friends. So don't wait, vaccinate. Let's roll up to roll out.
Yeah. I know we can make it. It's only just a phase. Once we're vaccinated, and everybody gonna be safe. Everybody gonna be safe. One kind, yeah. One people. We are roll up to roll out. Yeah. Cause no man's alone. Do what's right. Alright. Cause I love you. Brother, my sister. And we're in this together. My sister, my brother. I don't wanna lose you. I love you too much. I think it's better for us, yeah. It's better for us. Hey, I don't wanna lose you. I love you too much, yeah. It's better for us. Tell your mommy to roll up to roll out.
cash, no card, no problem. Dad, embrace the freedom.
You are watching Good Morning SKN, and it is now time for us to loosen up, although I thought we did that when the dogs were here, but anyway, we're getting even more loose today. So earlier today, we spoke with Carlisle Powell, a representative of the Dr. Lawrence Charitable Foundation, and their charity towards the Navision community moved us deeply. So now we're going to discuss our understanding of charity. What does charity mean to you, Kortensia?
Leah is one of our producers, not just giving money, but giving of our time, our energy, some of our belongings, because some of us have too much that we can't wear. So we share with those who don't have enough, and just being a good old helpful soul. A soul that gives service to the community. Like, I think I was put on earth to be of service to others. So that's how I look at myself. Yeah.
Nice. What does charity mean to me? I go back to the roots of charity, love. And everything that you do ought to be motivated by love. So I think it has a negative connotation sometimes, because we think, okay, we're performing an act of charity, so we're giving the less fortunate, or we're doing those things for people who don't have of their own, those sorts of things. And when we think of it, we generally think, well, at least from understanding it from that connotation, it's like, well, I'm giving what I don't want as opposed to something I would like for myself. And I think if you look at it the other way, even, not that it's bad to do the former, but if you look at it in the other way, it's like, I'll be taking care of my brother or my sister the way that I would want to be taken care of. So I will give what I want to receive.
Hence me saying, us having a million things that we don't wear. So it's good enough for me, it should be good enough for you.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, there you go. So what are the ways that you've been charitable in everyday life?
I make people laugh. I like making people laugh. So yeah.
Yeah, she makes me laugh, guys.
And I try to give my best service, even my best customer service. Because I think when people feel that they're valued, they reciprocate what you give out to them.
I like that.
So in my little charitable way, I try to learn your names to the best of my ability, because I'm sort of someone good with names, so I can call you by your name, so you feel like, oh, she's into me, she knows me, yeah. So yeah, that's my little thing. That. So how do you do that?
I love that. I wish I was better with people's names. Fortunately, I know all the names of the people in the room here, so that's good. Yeah, names, no, I'm sorry, I'm terrible with names. Okay. Really terrible. I'm good with faces. But in terms of names, no, I can't do that. So that's something I can learn. If that means that I'll be a little more charitable, making people feel better. Yeah, I think, how can I be charitable in everyday life? It's not necessarily giving material things, but you can give that listening ear.
Yep.
You can call someone up and, just to make sure that they're okay. You can look out for the elderly people in your community who may not have somebody else to look for them, somebody else to look for them. That sort of thing. So I think that's important as well. Or, I don't know that this counts as charity, so you can let me know what your take is on it, but even being courteous. I think being courteous to people is something that is a dying art.
Yeah, people are shocked when we are courteous. I'm like, who are you? Which planet are you from?
Honestly.
Yeah.
I couldn't be on the street years ago and just walk by people because it'd be considered rude. And I guess now, because we've traveled and we realize that nobody really cares who you are, that you come back to this place that was once so community oriented, and you can literally pass somebody on the street and not say anything to them, even if they're the only one on the street. And it's like, where did that come from?
And not get a scuff from you.
Well, there you go. And that's the part. That's the part that's changed as well.
Yeah.
So being courteous, especially to your elders. You say good morning. You say good afternoon, even if you don't know them. Just hi. Just greet. Hey, make somebody feel seen.
And I always think that we are going to be elders one day. So we're going to want some young child to pass and say, good morning, or can I help you across the road or something? So I always look at it as the world is a cycle and it's going to come back. Because what you give out, as I said before, you do receive.
All right, that's a good for you. I'm going to be looking for the fountain of youth, so I'm not sure about that one. Maybe it's at the pot of, maybe it's at the end of the rainbow, the pot of gold.
Yeah, the pot of gold.
No, I'm kidding. Yeah, obviously, you get old. I remember that there was this elderly man that I used to speak to. I used to walk to Beach Allen, and he would always be at his house. And he was probably about 80-something years old. And I was no more than 10 at the time. And I would say good morning to him. The first time he didn't answer me. And he always had this look of like disgust. I thought, this man is so mean. And I just kept it up. I just was like, good morning, good afternoon. Over time, the man answered me. And then I would talk to him and he'd tell me about his younger days on my way home. And he's on his veranda, I'm on the street, and he's telling me, you know, what his upbringing was like, and he had a rich life. And that all started with
you continuously being cordial to him.
So you never know. You might get some of the greatest lessons for people just by saying good morning or being nice.
So did you like to share as a child?
Did I like to share as a child? I didn't really have to share because I'm an only child.
Look at you.
There we go. Hey. Oh, sure. What? What about you?
I enjoyed sharing. Eve, not to highlight or put it on blast, but when I was young and we lived in Guyana, they had kids that were less fortunate than us. And we always, if our mom had extra food, we would share with them. And our mom always admired that about us. And me and my sisters had this grand plan to go to Africa and feed the children and dress up those who didn't have enough clothes. So yeah.
I love it. You never know. We might be talking about the Kortensia Moses Carty Foundation not too long from now.
I know. Look at that. Nice ring. I would just put that name back in there.
All right, there you go. No royalties from me, okay? All right. So that's you having some memories of being charitable as a child. What about somebody being charitable towards you?
Yeah, I have plenty memories of those. And as I said, because we were good, it ended up being good for us. When we did have difficulties, you know, people came through. So yeah, as I said, the world's a cycle. So that's how I work. I treat you good, somebody's going to end up treating me good, even if it's not you. So yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if it could be considered charity, but it might be considered divine intervention. And it was something very simple that I would have not thought about it that way. But I remember living with my grandma when I was younger, and she said, you know what, go to the corner store and buy some chicken for us. I did that. And the lady in the store, maybe people remember Miss Stanley right there at College Street on that corner.
Yeah.
And I did that. And she said, you know what, I don't have any unseasoned chicken. I only have seasoned chicken. Do you want that? And I said, okay. Oh yeah, I'll take it because it's the only one you have. And I was sent to the store to buy. I reached back home and my grandmother literally is like screaming hallelujah. She was out of seasoning.
Oh, look at that.
I thought, would you look at that? I said, well, in those moments, sometimes you got to be charitable to others because you never know when it'll come back to you. And it's something simple, but it meant so much to her. And I thought, wow. In that act, she could have said, you know what, this is my seasoned chicken. I put my seasoned chicken here for me. I'm not going to give it to anybody else. But she didn't do that.
She shared.
So she was charitable. And I think in that moment, I started looking to those moments when things that are seemingly serendipitous actually are part of a greater plan. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
So I see that.
And funny enough, you talk about Miss Stanley. I've heard lots of stories about that woman. Plenty stories of her saving a lot of people. So she has left a legacy behind. So you see, her charitable work ensured that her name or legacy never dies.
I love it.
Because people are still talking of Miss Stanley.
Love it.
Yeah.
The question is, what does your charitable work say about you? I'm putting it back on you now as Vera. Yeah, I'm actually
and our viewing audience at 50.
Yeah, that's true. That number ought to be significant for us. So it's time enough to launch that challenge. Yeah.
I know.
Be charitable. Remember 50 and be charitable.
Yeah. And plus half of 100. Share it.
Hey, that's the point where you're looking back and you're looking ahead. Seemingly, right? If you're getting to 100 as a target. So fair enough. And so too, we today are not only looking back from when we started on December 6th, but we're looking ahead to even greater experiences with you guys in our corner. So thank you so much for supporting us here at Good Morning SKN. It's 50.
So can we challenge them to do 50 charitable deeds?
That might be a lot, but we can. And we can also just challenge them. If you can't do 50, just pay it forward. And start by being kind to someone else. You never know where that can go. All right? That being said, we'll be back in a moment, everyone.
No cash, no card, no problem. Dad, embrace the freedom.
Everyone is encouraged to adopt a healthy and positive approach to daily life. Here are a few friendly reminders.
When you go to the local market and food vendors, remember to maintain a social distance of 6 feet or 2 meters apart, and always wear your mask.
Always keep your hands clean. Wash your hands with soap and water or use an alcohol-based hand sanitizer.
When dining, choose restaurants with staggered seating. This will lower the risk of transmission.
If you have a fever, cough, or other respiratory symptoms, please wear a mask and seek medical care immediately. Rest at home and do not visit the food vendors, local markets, or restaurants.
Welcome back to Good Morning SKN. You don't want the show to be over, right? You're
No,
looking down,
not
you're
yet.
like,
No,
just so
not
caught
yet.
off guard because she's like, nah, not yet.
Not at 50. Come on. 50 is celebration. 50 is half of 100. So I'm trying to prolong it. Yeah.
Oh, well, you can't prolong it too long because now it's time to let them know what's happening.
So today we're 50.
Oh, this one
That's
again.
my first happening.
This one again. Listen, you guys know how much we love this person, don't you?
Yeah, I know.
Because we keep saying, can you guess?
Paint your pet with Miss Sue, the lady that turned Jamie into a mini Picasito yesterday.
No, not mini at all. Our Instagram viewers are going to say, hey, what did our Instagram viewers say, by the way? Did we put those paintings up? Did we get any views? Yeah, if not, that's a hint. Then we'll find out.
So yesterday we finally had the honor of not only meeting the famed Miss Sue, but also painting with her. And tomorrow, the 2nd of March, 2022, Miss Sue will be hosting a Paint Your Pet event at Michael's Burgers. To reserve your space, message Miss Sue a picture of your pet and send a payment of EC 135 by credit card through JAD. Miss Sue will draw your pet on a canvas and will help you paint a lasting memory of your furry friend. Though we did not paint our pets yesterday with Miss Sue, we had a grand time with her. So we encourage you to go out and enjoy this painting event. Maybe you might even see Blondie. You might even see Sam. And you might even see Cookie.
Listen,
Who
I'm just
knows?
remembering that.
Or Odin.
I'm just remembering that there are some people out there who like to say that men are dogs. So for those of you who are married or in relationships, please don't take a picture of your significant other and send it to Miss Sue with it. All right, she's painting your pet. No. It was all in all a great delight speaking with Miss Sue and watching her turn us into artists. That was so great.
Yeah.
So I know the experience will be great for our viewers as well. National Stakeholders Orientation. This is what's next. So this event is in direct alignment with our discussion earlier with Denise Murray, Caribbean Consultant. The National Emergency Management Agency, or NEMA, and the Nevis Disaster Management Department, or NDMA, will be hosting a National Stakeholders Orientation, or an NSO. I hope you're getting all these letters, on Comprehensive Disaster Management, CDM, Audit 2. So we're doing that. The orientation will take place on Friday, 4th March 2022 at the Marriott Resort Ballroom from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. For more information, contact NEMA at 466-5100, email them at nemaskb@thecable.net, visit their website www.nema.kn or Facebook page at nema.kn. You can also contact the NDMD at 469-1423, and you can email them at info@ndmd.kn. Visit their website at www.ndmd.kn or visit their Facebook page at MDMD, let me get this right, ndmd.kn. A lot of letters there, but I made it through.
Look at you. Star of letters. So we move on to a third thing that's happening. Third World Engineering Day Power Talk. Tomorrow, Wednesday, the 2nd of March, 2022. Tune into ZIZ Live on Facebook and YouTube from 9:30 to 10:30 a.m. for another installment of Skelex Power Talk. This will be a special edition as there will be a discussion on World Engineers Day under the theme Build Back Wiser Engineering the Future. This Power Talk will feature Janine Mark, Acting Maintenance Engineer, Jonathan Kelly, Engineering Manager, Zhejiang Claxton, Quality Engineer Survey Paving, and Tonya Bartlett from the Nevis Water Department.
Wow, great. That's sure.
So tune in.
Okay, she looks so different. The third one that you called. Yeah, you when she was like a baby. Shir. Her name is pronounced Shir.
Shir?
Yeah, my family calls her Shir. I know it's a unique spelling, but yeah, XIA, Shir Claxton, yes. Oh, that's great. All right, so a lot of things to do.
Plenty. So tune in.
That's it.
Look at us.
Oh, wow. We're going down memory lane. Would you look at them taking us down memory lane? Yeah. Hashtag Team K. Hashtag Team S. Hashtag Team J. I think Miss Sue takes the cake. What do you say?
She does.
Yeah. She taught us well, though. Taught us well.
She did.
Hey.
So I'll give you second. Because I like the wind in your palm trees. I keep telling you that. It looks really good.
I don't know about you, but I'm taking credit for, they just switched the shot. So I'll wait until it comes back because the punchline will be lost. But that's a great picture, by the way. Thanks to our in-house photographers. You guys are good. Yeah, I'm taking credit for that moving canvas behind you right now. Can I do that? Would you believe that I painted that? It's actually so fluid. No,
you forgot to sign it.
Shout out to our background guys, Naeem. Awesome. All right. So this is the time that we say goodbye. I feel like I'm part of the Mickey Mouse Club now. If you remember that.
Yeah.
That farewell song.
Yeah.
It's not going to be farewell for long, is it? No, because we're going to come back.
But we are excited that they would have joined us for 50 though.
Yeah, this was a good show today. Obviously, 50 is significant, right?
Yeah.
And the best part about it, I think, despite all the things that we've, segments that we've had, rather, best part of it was that 50 challenge. A good idea to come up with it. So you've got
50 charitable things you can do. As simple as offering.
That's not so bad.
Yeah.
You know why? Because there are 52 weeks in a year. So even if you start now, you can do one thing a week.
Yeah.
Hey, one a week.
Yeah.
That's even more manageable, isn't it? Forget one a day. We're doing one a week. All right. We want to thank you for joining us today. And we also want to remind you how you can follow us, how you can connect with us here at Studio 327 and Good Morning SKN. So you can follow us on our social media platforms, including Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, and TikTok. Yes, we are on TikTok.
We are.
Yeah, we are. At Studio 327 Inc. So like, subscribe, follow, and not just that, but
leave us a comment, especially on our 50th show. We would really appreciate that. And tell us what topics and guests you'd like to see next.
And whether you'd like Kortensia to put me in the doghouse again, because she did that today, successfully, by the way.
All right, so we'll see you tomorrow on our 51st episode when you start your morning with us at 8 a.m.
Better do it.
Right here
on
Good Morning SKN. Have a wonderful day, folks.